What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Sun and Moon era, but there's also a few other things I want to touch on. We're going to talk about Phantasmal Flames, the leaks that happened there, and we're going to start the video out by talking about Surging Sparks because I said in yesterday's video, if we get to 300 likes, I'll shill Surging Sparks for you guys. We got there. So Surging Sparks is clearly the best set of the Scarlet and Violet era. Ignore 151, Paldean Fates, Prismatic. Destined Rivals, Surging Sparks is the absolute best. It's going to be a $1,000 box by Thursday at 11 p.m. EST. I'm calling it now. But all seriousness, guys, Surging Sparks is a solid set from the Scarlet and Violet era. And I think just based on the current prices of some of the other SV era booster boxes, it kind of makes sense to be buying this around $250, $260. And most recent sales on TCG Player over the past 48 hours or so, most of them are over $300, sitting around 310 USD. You do have a couple lower ones, one at 240, one at 275, but it is pushing $300 now. And if you guys want me to shill something else, I'm going to put out a challenge right now. If we get to 400 likes on this video, which I think is going to be a little bit high, I don't think this video is going to do that well, but if we get to 400 likes, I will shill whatever the top comment is down below, whether it's Shrouded Fable, Obsidian Flames, Battle Styles, it doesn't matter. I will do that. So that's the challenge for you guys, just a little bit of fun. Now, to get back to a serious note, I do want to talk about what happened to Paradox Rift over the past 24 hours or so. If you guys haven't seen, Paradox Rift is now getting bought out on TCG Player. It's kind of having a Destined Rivals run up. And I think that it'll probably come back down, but we do need to talk about some of these sales because the most recent sale from today, 2 boxes sold at $400 USD. Before that, we had 4 boxes sell at $375. Then we had a box sell at 360, 355, 325, all the way down. So someone has bought out a lot of the Paradox Rift boxes on the market. What this is probably going to do to the secondary market is stores, whether it's an LGS on their Shopify site or it's an independent seller on eBay, they're more than likely going to take boxes off the market as people start to buy them today in response to what's happening to TCG Player. And I think ultimately we'll find a higher floor than where it was at. We were sitting around $260 on Paradox Rift. If we go to like the 1 month chart here, you can see the run up. We were about $260. Maybe it gets close to like $300, $280, $320. Who knows where it's going to find that new floor, but I do think it is going to be higher than that $260. And what this is probably going to do is it's going to put upward pressure on every other booster box of the era. If Paradox Rift is sitting around $300, it probably doesn't make sense for Surging Sparks to be $270, $280, right? At that point, Surging's probably going to move up. Twilight sitting around 310, probably shouldn't be that close to Paradox. That'll probably move up. Maybe this will have upward pressure on Temporal Forces, Stellar Crown, SV Base, maybe even other eras like the Sun and Moon era. Sword and Shield, actually, if you've been paying attention to that over the past 3 or 4 days, a couple of those boxes are starting to move on TCG Player as well. I think Silver Tempest consistently is at $500 now. Lost Origin, a lot of that was being purchased over the past 24 hours. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow when we do the Sword and Shield update. But today, I do want to touch a little bit on the Sun and Moon era. I did do the update in the spreadsheet. So if you guys are in there and you want to go look at all the numbers, it's finished. Everything's done. So you can go check that out. Some stuff was up. Some stuff was down this week. Team Up was actually down. I think the lowest listed box right now is like $8,400 USD on eBay North America. I think there's only like 1 box though, and then jumps up to like 9,000 or something. So it's not a huge deal, maybe 8,900, but people are definitely starting to take profits on Team Up and some of these other sets. But the tag team sets outside of that, like Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, Cosmic Eclipse, they were all still up in terms of average sale price. I think Unified Minds and Unbroken Bonds had the larger moves compared to Cosmic, which I think was only up like $20 or so in terms of average sale price. Kind of makes sense to me. I think Unified Minds and Unbroken Bonds are probably a little bit cheaper than they should be right now. And I think the market is kind of agreeing with that and slowly pushing them up. Unbroken Bonds is getting close to 3K average sale price. And then Unified Minds, it's sitting in the low threes, I think like 3,200, 3,300, something like that. It's probably going to be a while before we see it get to 4K, but it is moving in the right direction. And then Cosmic is sitting around, what, 4,400, 4,500, something like that. We've seen sales get close to like $5,000 as well. But the final thing I want to touch on in this video is Phantasmal Flames, because last night, Poke Beach published an article showing the Inferno X rares that have been revealed. So shout out to them. I get all my news from PokeBeach. Again, not affiliated or anything, but this is where I go for my news. And you can see here, there's some interesting artworks, I guess. I think this is probably going to be a bit underwhelming for some people, myself included. Now, obviously, we do need to touch on the Mega Charizard XEX. This card, there was a leak on Reddit probably like a month ago at this point of the English version, and people didn't know if it was legit or not. I had fairly high confidence that it was going to be a legit card. It's very weird for us to get a leak that early and it not be legit. Even just the photo, everything, the HP lined up, the artist, like everything made sense, right? That it was going to be a legit card. It's now confirmed, and this is going to be probably the most expensive card in the set, maybe the gold Charizard, which we get to here in a second. Actually, I can click on it down here if it will load on PokeBeach. This card right here, this gold card, might be more expensive, but it's probably going to be this one or this SIR card, which I think is great. The artwork on it is awesome. Now, some people are saying that they don't know how expensive this card will get just because it's a smaller set. It's probably going to be easier to pull. I kind of look at Obsidian Flames. The Charizard EX in that set is up to what, $120, $125 in this market. And there's a lot more Obsidian Flames Charizards out there compared to what there will be for this Mega Charizard XEX out the gate. So I think just in terms of the population over the first few months, that's going to be a main reason why it's going to be more expensive than that card. But then also, this is Mega Charizard. It's not just Charizard EX. So the fact that it's Mega Charizard, I think, is also going to play a role in it. But the main factor is clearly the artwork. I think if you look at the Obsidian Flames Charizard and you compare it to this one, this is leagues above that Charizard EX. So in terms of price, I think that this card could be somewhere between like $300 and $500, I think is reasonable. I would be surprised if this card is cheaper than $250 out the gate. That is just my opinion. And then the gold card, it's going to depend on pull rates. We're probably going to get a better idea based on where the gold cards from MEO1, where those ultimately end up. I think that will give us an idea of where Phantasmal Flames and the other sets coming will end up in terms of the gold card pricing. But those two cards are decent. Outside that, we have a Dawn SIR, which I think, from the waifu tags, that'll be worth a little bit. We also have Oricorio EX, which is done by Shinji Kanda. So not a super popular Pokemon, but because it's a popular artist, this card will probably have some level of value. Then we have Mega Sharpedo EX. Rotom EX is getting another like Altart or SR. Like, I don't know what Pokemon sees in Rotom, but it's like, why are we getting so many Altarts and SIRs and illustration rares of Rotom? It actually is starting to bother me at this point, especially because there's so many awesome Pokemon that we haven't seen get like art rares or special illustration rares. Like, I would love to see a nice Cubone illustration rare. That's something I've wanted for a very long time. Or like Swampert, Mudkip, like some of these older Pokemon that just never get featured in these cards. But we get another Rotom card, whatever. Also, we're getting a Mega Lopunny EX. So nothing super crazy in the set so far outside of the Mega Charizard XEX, which is going to be a crazy card. And then the gold version, obviously. And then, yeah, maybe Dawn in there and a couple other cards that are going to be interesting. But obviously, the Mega Gengar EX, we haven't seen a card for it. It's seeming like we're not going to get the SIR that a lot of people have expected, which I think is weird because when you look at the booster box, Gengar or Mega Gengar is featured on it. So I don't really know why they do that if we're not going to be getting a Mega Gengar EX. So that is a bit disappointing. But when we look at this as an investment vehicle, I think it's still going to be decent just because of the Charizards in the set rather. That said, I think we're still missing a couple illustration rares and maybe some SIRs. And maybe over the next couple weeks, we get more information on Phantasmal Flames. But if you have pre-orders, you got them at MSRP, you're going to be doing fine. Even if you paid up for Phantasmal Flames, I think it's probably still going to be worth holding at least a small position. And like most other sets, dollar cost averaging over time, if it does seem like it's becoming a fan favorite and the market is accepting of the product. But that is going to be it for the video. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Phantasmal Flames leaks. Are you a fan of the set? Also, let me know what you think about Paradox Rift, what is going on here. And again, if we get to 400 likes, I will shill whatever the top comment says, whether it's Shrouded Fable, Battle Styles, it don't matter. I'll do it. So Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you got some value out of it, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. Leave a comment down below for the algorithm. Stay safe wherever you guys are in the world, and I'll catch you tomorrow with the Sword and Shield update.